In the heart of rural Thailand, nestled between densely forested mountains, lay the ghostly rice fields. It had been said that a malevolent spirit inhabited this cursed land, seeking vengeance for a terrible crime committed years ago. The villagers whispered tales of eerie apparitions and unexplained phenomena that plagued anyone foolish enough to venture near. Among the superstitious locals, one man stood out, the curious and adventurous traveler, Tom. With a heart that yearned for thrilling experiences, he could not resist the allure of the ghostly rice fields. Armed with his camera and a sense of excitement, he set out on a path few dared to tread. As Tom arrived at the edge of the fields, he felt a chill crawl up his spine. The air was thick with unease, and the once beautiful green rice stalks now swayed as if possessed. Ignoring the shivers that ran through him, he captured the scene through his lens. In the distance, a figure emerged from the mist. It was a woman, her translucent form gliding above the flooded fields. Tom's heart pounded in his chest as he snapped photo after photo, capturing the ethereal beauty of the apparition. Entranced by the ghostly sight, Tom stepped closer. The spirit turned her sad eyes towards him, and a haunting melody filled the air. Compelled by the enchanting music, he pressed onwards, each step taking him deeper into the cursed fields. And so, the tale of the ghostly rice fields of Thailand lived on, a reminder of the power of forgiveness, the tenacity of the human spirit, and the enduring belief that even the darkest of curses can be lifted. Touched by the spirit's tale, the villagers vowed to make amends for the past. They promised to restore the sacred burial ground, honor the spirits, and preserve the harmony between the land and its people. A newfound peace settled over the ghostly rice fields as the spirits' anguished cries were replaced by whispers of reconciliation. Tom, forever changed by his encounter, felt a deep sense of humility and gratitude for witnessing the power of forgiveness and redemption. Years passed, and the ghostly rice fields transformed into a thriving symbol of unity and rebirth. The once cursed land became a beacon of hope, attracting visitors from far and wide who marveled at the beauty of a land once plagued by darkness. Tom made a home among the villagers, dedicating his life to capturing the story of the ghostly rice fields. With camera in hand and a heart filled with gratitude, he documented the restoration effort, forever preserving the tale of forgiveness and the triumph of the human spirit. The villagers embraced him as one of their own, their bond forged through a shared past of sorrow and redemption. Together, they cultivated the lands, nurturing the rice fields and honoring the spirits that had found eternal peace. Generations passed, and the ghostly rice fields endured, standing as an enduring testament to the courage and resilience of a community that had refused to let darkness consume their souls. Visitors marveled not only at the sight but at the story that breathed life into the land. Days turned into weeks as the wise woman delved deep into her mystical practices, aided by the villagers who assisted in creating potent charms and offerings. Renewed hope sparked within their souls, for they believed it was finally time to free their land from the ghostly grip. Nightfall marked the culmination of their efforts. The villagers gathered near the entrance to the ghostly rice fields, clutching their protective talismans. The air was thick with anticipation as they awaited the arrival of the vengeful spirit. Suddenly, an otherworldly silence descended upon the land. Darkness seemed to seep from every corner, and for a moment, it appeared as if the villagers' efforts had been in vain. But then, a faint shimmering light materialized, growing brighter with each passing second. The ghostly figure emerged, her face no longer twisted in torment but filled with a mix of sorrow and gratitude. With a voice full of sorrow, she revealed the heinous crime that had condemned her to wander the rice fields eternally. Long ago, a greedy landowner had seized the fertile land from the village, driven by his insatiable desire for wealth. In his quest for more fields, He had raised a sacred burial ground, disturbing the rest of the spirits that had resided there. The villagers, overcome with grief and anger, had prayed for justice. Their collective sorrow seeping into the soil had birthed the vengeful spirit, trapping her in a cycle of boundless pain and retribution. Just as his hope began to wane, a glimmer of light caught Tom's eye. It was a small, ancient shrine, secluded amidst the rice stalks. Desperation gave him strength as he lunged towards it, grasping onto the wooden altar with all his might. The ghostly figure halted, unable to cross the threshold of the sacred ground. Her mournful gaze locked with Tom's, silently conveying her anger and frustration. But she could not bridge the divide between the living and the dead. Gasping for breath, Tom clung to the altar, his heart pounding in his chest. He had escaped the clutches of the vengeful spirit, but he knew there was no guarantee of safety. The ghostly rice fields still held him captive. As dawn broke, a ray of sunlight pierced through the dark clouds, illuminating the shrine. The cursed rice fields seemed to quiver, their grip on Tom weakening. Sensing an opportunity, he mustered his strength and made a desperate leap towards the safety of the village. The villagers, astonished and relieved by his return, nursed him back to health. They listened to Tom's harrowing tale, their eyes filled with both fear and awe. They shared their own stories of encounters with the spirit and the curse that had plagued their land for generations. Determined to rid themselves of the ghostly presence, the villagers sought the guidance of an old wise woman known for her connection to the spirit world. She performed ancient rituals and called upon the forces of good to help break the curse. Night fell, plunging the rice paddies into utter darkness. The moon, hidden behind thick clouds, cast an eerie glow upon the land. Tom stumbled blindly, each moment whispering his regrets for ignoring the warnings of the villagers. Suddenly, he heard a faint whisper, a mournful voice calling his name. Panic set in as Tom realized he was no longer alone. He reached for his camera, seeking solace in the familiarity of its weight, but his hand found only emptiness. The ghostly figure reappeared before him, her face contorted in anguish. "You have invaded our sacred land," she whispered, her voice echoing through the night. "Now, you shall pay for your audacity." With each word, the ghostly apparition grew more menacing, her once ethereal beauty fading into an ominous glow. Panic consumed Tom as he desperately searched for an escape, but the cursed rice fields seemed to stretch infinitely in every direction. The spirit beckoned him forward, and against his will, Tom obeyed. The ground beneath his feet grew slippery as the paddies turned into murky water. He stumbled, splashing through the ghostly liquid as he fought to keep his footing. The water rose higher, threatening to consume him, as the ghostly figure led him deeper into the cursed fields. It became apparent that Tom was at the mercy of a vengeful spirit, doomed to meet an uncertain fate.